What you'll learn. In this video, you will learn what is Python. What is Python used for? Why to learn Python? A little bit of history of Python. Use of Python. Concept of scripting. And comparison between scripting language versus programming language. What is Python? Python is an interpreted, object-oriented, high-level programming language with dynamic semantics. Its high-level built-in data structures, combined with dynamic typing and dynamic binding. Python is very useful for rapid application development, as well as for use as a scripting or glue language to connect existing components together. What is Python used for? Web development, mainly on the server side. A server-side web application can be written in Python. Developers rarely use existing open-source libraries to speed up their progress when building web applications without using a web framework. Software development. Software developers often use Python for build control and management, testing, and other purposes. Data analysis. Python provides robust, scalable, and extensible visualization and graphics options. As a result, data science uses it extensively. The Python programming language supports several popular libraries. Machine learning. Python's simple syntax and its support of several machine learning libraries make it a popular language for machine learning. System scripting. Python can be used to write scripts and automate workflows without requiring human intervention. As a result, it is very convenient. Why learn Python? Easy to use. Python has a simple syntax, making it easy to learn and understand. This makes it a popular choice when it comes to programming languages. Easy to learn. Programming languages such as Python are high level. Compared to other languages such as C, C#, JavaScript, Java, etc., Python is very easy to learn. In a few hours or days, anyone can learn the basics of coding in Python. Additionally, it is a developer-friendly language. Offers high salaries. IT has undergone a paradigm shift in recent years. IT professionals are in high demand, and companies pay high salaries for them. Visualizations and graphics. Graphs are nonlinear data structures that consist of nodes and edges. It is also sometimes called a vertex, and an edge is the line or arc connecting two nodes. Plethora of libraries and frameworks. One of Python's advantages is its extensive library collection. Based on the Python package index, Python has more than 267,000 projects. Consequently, a package that simplifies development is likely to exist for whatever you're trying to build. Large number of applications. Almost every domain of software development can benefit from Python's general-purpose nature. There is a Python presence in every emerging field. Any application can be developed with this fast-growing language. Scripting and automation. Automating and testing can help solve various software production issues without spending a lot of time. This method allows us to test the programs and check every case. Extensible and portable. Python runs on a wide range of hardware platforms and has the same interface across all of them. History of Python. The Python 1.0 software package was released in 1994, and it introduced lambdas, maps, filters, and reducers, among others. With Python 2.0, new features were added, such as list comprehensions and garbage collection systems. Python 3.0, also called Py3k, was released in December 2008. The language was designed to correct its fundamental flaw. Features of Python. Interpreted. As an interpreted language, Python programs are executed one line at a time. Having an interpreted language makes debugging easy and portable. Interactive. Python allows you to directly interact with the interpreter at a prompt. Object-oriented programming language. A key feature of Python programming is object-oriented programming. The Python programming language supports object-oriented concepts such as classes, object encapsulation, etc. Incorporates modules. Modules are files that contain Python definitions and statements. Modules can define functions, classes, and variables. Runnable code can also be included in a module. It is easier to understand and use code that has been grouped into modules. The code is also logically organized as a result. Classes. Programmers commonly use classes and objects when coding in Python because Python is an object-oriented language. Classes in Python are simply logical entities that serve as prototypes or templates for creating objects. Dynamic typing. Python is a dynamically typed programming language. Because of this feature, the type of a variable is decided at runtime, not in advance. Exceptions. An exception occurs when a program's instructions are disrupted during execution. Generally, Python scripts raise exceptions when they encounter situations they cannot handle. Errors are represented by exceptions, which are Python objects. Use of Python. Develop web applications. A web developer conceptualizes, designs, creates, deploys, and operates web applications and application programming interfaces. Workflow creations. The workflow is a finite state machine with memory. Using it, a set of methods can be executed sequentially. Database connectivity. Python uses the connect method of MySQL to connect to the MySQL database. There is a connector module used. During the method call, we supply database details such as host name, username, and password. Performing complex mathematics and handling big data, like other numbers, complex numbers can be used as part of arithmetic expressions in Python. It results in elegant syntax that reads almost like a math textbook. Build rapid prototypes. Prototypes are early examples of a product or process that act as a basis for further development. The Greek term prototype means primitive form. Concept of scripting. Python scripts. Scripts are files containing commands intended for execution like programs. In this case, the command line or the Python interactive shell will be used to run or execute the file, which will contain functions and import various modules. Reads and interprets the code. An interpreted programming language is designed to execute source code directly without the need to compile files into machine code. An interpreter translates statements into subroutines and then into another language, such as machine code, before executing the program. Runtime error checking. Runtime errors occur when a program is executed after it has been compiled. Identifying runtime errors, or bugs, before a software is released is essential. Online platforms often send messages that do not clearly explain the runtime errors that occur. Runtime errors include input-output errors, undefined objects, division by zero, and others. Scripting versus programming. Scripting. A scripting language is mainly used to automate certain software tasks. For scripting languages, the output is generated by executing one line at a time. It is very easy to learn and use scripting languages. Programming. A programming language is used to create complete software. For programming languages, the output for the entire program is generated at once. It is relatively difficult to learn and use programming languages. Setting up Python. Download Python. Visit the Python website, www.python.org, and click on Downloads for Windows. Python 3 is available in the latest version. Click here to download. Run the executable installer. Once your download completes, visit your download directory. Then double-click Python 3.10.5 AMD64 file to start the Python setup. At this point, you will get two installation options. Option 1, Install Now. This option is helpful if you are a newbie. Just select Install Now and it will install Python 3.9 with default settings. This path would be the default Python installation directory. It will also install idle, pip, documentation and shortcuts. Check the following two checkboxes. The Install Launcher for all users, recommended, checkbox will install a Python launcher shortcut for every user profile on your computer. Python 3.10.5 will be available to anyone who logs into your system. Python 3.10.5 to path, select this checkbox to automatically add Python and pip path variables in the system environment. After installation, you will need to manually add the path variable if you do not select this option now. The checkboxes for Add Python 3.10.5 to path and Install Launcher for all users should be selected. Now click on Install Now. Sit back and relax. Python and pip installation will take some time to complete. Choose Disable Path Length Limit. Windows 10 has now been successfully installed with Python and pip. The Disable Path Length Limit option must be selected here. It allows Python to bypass the max_path limitation of 260 characters. Basically, it means that your installation directory path exceeds 260 characters. The path variable cannot be added by Python. Windows 10 has this limitation. Then select Disable Path Length Limit, then enable Python 3.10.5 in User Access Control and select Close. Option 2, Customize Installation. If you are a pro and need to know what all features will be installed with Python. Also, in case you already have Python installed and want to test the latest version. Using the Customize Installation option, you can choose a different installation folder and can keep both Python versions. Check the following two checkboxes. The checkboxes for Add Python 3.10.5 to Path and Install Launcher for all users should be selected. Click on Customize Installation. Optional features can be added or removed. In this window, you are able to add or remove optional features available with Python 3. Now let's take a closer look at each optional feature available. Documentation. Checking this box will install all Python documentation and manuals. Pip. I informed you in step 1 of the download section. Python 3.10.5 already includes pip. If you want pip to be installed automatically with Python 3.10.5, which I highly recommend, check this checkbox. TCL. The TK and idle tkinter and the idle development environment will be installed if you check this box. Therefore, it does not need to be installed separately. Python Test Suite sets up the standard library suite. Py Launcher for all users requires elevation. The global Py Launcher is installed for all users. To perform it, you must have administrator rights, elevation. From their user profiles, all users can conveniently launch Python. Select the optional features you require and click Next. Keep all options checked, I suggest. Select Python 3.10.5's Advanced Options. Listed below are the advanced options available, which are self-explanatory. Install for all users. Python 3.10.5 will be installed for all users on your machine. I am the only user in my case. I don't really care about this option. Associate files with Python requires the Py Launcher. The associated files should be linked to the Python launcher. Create shortcuts for installed applications. Add shortcut icons to Python, pip, and any installed optional features. Add Python to environment variables. Add Python and pip environment variables. Precompile standard library includes precompiled libraries. Download debugging symbols. These symbols add additional information to the symbol table. Download debug binaries requires VS 2017 or later. Installs required and dependent debugging binaries. Choose the options that suit your needs. If you are a newbie, you can proceed with the default selected options shown in the video. You can select a custom installation folder, optional. If you already have Python installed and would like to keep it safe. In addition, you should install a newer version of Python for testing. Click Browse, select your destination installation folder, click OK. Click Install. Allow Python 3.10.5 to make changes to your system by selecting Yes. Let Python 3.9 and pip setup finish. Take a deep breath and relax. It will take some time to install Python and pip. Choose Disable Path Length Limit. Windows 10 has now been successfully installed with Python and pip. The Disable Path Length Limit option must be selected here. It allows Python to bypass the max_path limitation of 260 characters. Basically, it means that your installation directory path exceeds 260 characters. The path variable cannot be added by Python. Windows 10 has this limitation. Then select Disable Path Length Limit, then enable Python 3.10.5 in User Access Control and select Close. Verify Python was installed on Windows. Open command prompt in your system. Press Enter after you have written the code. Python. Here are the details you can see now. Congratulations! Python has been installed on your system. Now go to Python. Windows Search. Type idle. In Python, idle stands for Integrated Development and Learning Environment. Programmers can easily write Python code with it. Like Python shell, idle can execute a single statement and create, modify, and execute Python scripts. Open it. Start by running your first Python program. Write your code here. Print, hello world. Once you have written the code, press enter. Here are the results. Hello world. Escape characters. An escape character can be used to insert illegal characters into a string. Example: the escape character allows you to use single quotes when you normally would not be allowed. lset equals London / school / of emerging technology. Print, lset. Once you have written the code, press enter. Here are the results now. London School of Emerging Technology. The escape characters table with examples can be used with your own print Python code. Pycharm installation. JetBrains developed Pycharm as a cross-platform editor. Using Pycharm, you can develop Python applications productively. To download and install Pycharm IDE on Windows, follow these steps. Visit https://www.jetbrains.com/pycharm/download and click the Download link under the Community section to download Pycharm. No professional package includes all the advanced features and comes with a free trial for a few days. After that, the user will have to purchase a licensed key for activation. Community packages are available for free download and installation whenever needed. All the basic features are included for installation. We will continue to use the community package throughout this video. Once the download is complete, run the exe file to install Pycharm. You should have seen the setup wizard start. Continue by clicking Next. Change the installation path if necessary on the next screen. Continue by clicking Next. The next screen allows you to create a desktop shortcut if you like. Click Next. Select the Start menu folder. Keep JetBrains selected and click Install. Wait for it to complete. Upon completion of the installation, you should see a message screen indicating Pycharm has been installed. You can run it by clicking on the Run Pycharm Community Edition box and clicking Finish. In this video, you learnt about Python, how to install and use Python, which IDE to use for Python, and the difference between scripting and programming languages. Python is awesome.
Oh! What?